Hey friends, with you Vishal. Are you watching RD Group of Management Training Academy? Today we will talk about the tender conditions for competitive bidding process. One of the tender conditions mentioned for providing a license for ground handling services is as follows. The tenderer must not to be an airline operator or its joint venture or its subsidiary. The tender conditions along with the new regulation has clearly shown that the Government of India has given AAI, airport operators and the national carrier preference over the other airlines operating within the country, private and foreign. Policy 2011 argues that the tender conditions also have a bias towards Air India, being an airline allowed to operate as per primary rule in the regulation. Another tender condition states as follows: consequent to the award, the successful tenderer will establish a new legal entity of its consortium, tie-up arrangements (JVC and/or Co.) to represent the award in executing the license agreement with AAI for executing ground handling services to various airlines at Chennai and Kolkata airports. The legal entity that is formed in the southern region is currently unknown due to lack of data. It has been seen that Badra International, one of companies who is awarded the ground handling service contract at AAI airports, is not an independent entity. It is part of the consortium formed with Novia International Consulting APS Salmon, 2011. 6.2.8 Price of ground handling services. As the European market was liberalised due to the European Council directive, at most airports prices of ground handling services decreased intensively at an average of approximately 12% during 1996 to 2002. In contrast, at Helsinki Airport the prices increased mainly due to high traffic volume and adequate number of handlers. At Cologne Bonn Airport prices remained stable during this period. Generally, prices at most airports in Europe decreased. Competition was just one of the factors, other drivers being higher productivity and process improvements, economies of scale due to increasing traffic volumes and a stable number of handlers. It was also seen that during 2002 to 2007 prices continued to decrease, showing that there is intense competition in the ground handling market in Europe. AirportResearchCenter, 2009. Generally, the cost of ground handling service is about 10% of the total airline budget. ITS, 2011. Without fuel it takes approximately 75% of the total airline operation costs. Ashraf, 2011. As seen earlier, AERA's decision is to implement the single till price regime at Indian airports. Currently, DIAL and MEAL follow the shared till pricing model for all of its services. In the case of ground handling activity, service providers charge a levy on airlines if they are an airport operator. If the service provider is a different company, it often pays a concession fee revenue share to the airport operator. AERA, 2009. The classification of ground handling activity as an aeronautical or non-aeronautical activity would be affected by the economic regulation of an airport, single till, dual till and hybrid in some cases. The financial model adopted by the airport as per AERA's final stand will also affect the prices of ground handling in future. Mishra, 2011. As seen before, AERA classifies ground handling as an aeronautical activity. This means that ground handling service would come under the purview of price regulation when AERA confirms its stand on single till price regime at Indian airports.